Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Demco Dominator Tow Bar with blue ox ends. When it comes to getting a base plate for your vehicle, there's quite a few different options as far as brands that you may be able to pick from, and a lot of times people think that you have to get a specific tow bar to match that base plate, and that's not the case. In fact, today we have a blue ox base plate on our Jeep Grand Cherokee, but a Demco Tow Bar. And the difference is you can pick this Demco Tow Bar up with blue ox ends and be able to attach. And once you find a tow bar with matching ends, some of the other things that you want to consider are going to be weight capacity and also getting a non-binding tow bar. So first thing, our weight capacity on this tow bar comes in I would say a medium duty with 7,500 pounds, which is going to be plenty for our Jeep Grand Cherokee. But if you ever plan on moving to a larger vehicle, as long as you stay underneath that 7,500 pounds, you should be good. And that's a pretty large window when it comes to flat-towed vehicles, to where I don't really worry too much about the capacity. Now, if you are looking at maybe a larger 3/4 ton that you're flat towing, you might want to look at something a little bit heavier duty. The eTrailer XHD is one that comes to mind. And that's also a great tow bar with a lot of the same features. Non-binding is something that I recommend for anyone to get, no matter your situation. And what that means is, as you tow, your arms will extend out and lock. And the problem with those older binding style is when you go to release the arms from the vehicle, it's going to be bound up and really tight. So if you've ever seen someone hitting their tow bar with a hammer at a campsite, more than likely they have an older tow bar that is a binding style. The non-binding means that at any angle you can push this tab, draw those arms back, and unhook the vehicle. Other things to consider when choosing a tow bar is what's included with it, and also what other features they may have that make it stand out from some of the others out there. And this one is chock full of different features, and let's talk about what's included first. Your tow bar will come with the pins to attach to your base plate. So being that these are blue ox ends, they're going to match up perfectly with the blue ox arms. Some other things that are really nice is going to be the safety cables. These are included and they're routed in cable management. So these brackets that you see along the arms of the tow bar keep the cables nice and tight, at least up off the ground, and nice and clean when you go to stow it all. They are already pre-installed for you, and that's a nice little feature that's included. Also is a pin and clip, which seems small, but obviously it's pretty crucial to get your tow bar in place. It's nice that it comes with that. Also, going along with cable management, you'll see this bar that's attached, and this allows you to hook up, as you see, our air line for our air brakes, and then also our umbilical, which also keeps this from dragging on the ground and also holds it all together when you stow your tow bar. Something that the Dominator offers that you really don't see with a ton of different tow bars is going to be the built-in high-low adapter. So you can see the shank here, and at this point we have it in our drop position, and you can unbolt this and put it in a rise position. Each way will give you 1.5 inches, and sometimes that's just enough to have to be able to get away from buying a high-low adapter. And the reason being is you want your tow bar as flat as possible, and just like you would a trailer, but sometimes that's not always the case. The hitch height versus your tabs on your base plate are two completely different heights, and if it's over 3 inches, either high or low, you need to get a high-low adapter to be able to get that back in the safe plane. And that's where having that little bit of extra 1.5 inches either way means that that might save you from having to get a high-low adapter. I really like the finishing that they used on all the metal, so black powder coat, and then you also have this gold anodizing that looks really sharp. There's even some black coating here on the arms, so it's a really good looking tow bar, and that's going to just help prevent it from breaking down. So if it's out in the elements and it's on the back of your RV, obviously it's exposed to a lot of weather, but those coatings are really going to help prolong the lifespan of your tow bar. And something you may want to consider is a tow bar cover. That's a great way to protect it while you have it stowed on your vehicle, but also keep all your cables together. They also have some red paint here on these brackets, and that's nice visual for locking it in place or stowing it. And speaking of that, let's unhook it and I'll show you how it stows. We'll take our pins out here. And something that they mention is the self-supporting arms. So a lot of times arms are just going to be loose to where they drop. These ones have a little bit of resistance. They kind of keep them in place. I'm not going to say they completely stay up all the time, but it is better than having to fight those dropping of your tow bar. It's going to keep it from really getting chipped up as much as others. So we'll get all of this unhooked. And the great part too is you'll see as I unhook our airline as well as our diode wiring here, the cable management is keeping this all in place to keep it a little bit easier. It's less stuff that you're gonna have to fight against, and it also kind of just keeps it clean also while going down the road. And as I mentioned, we're going to take a look at those tabs as I lock this in place, and you can choose which way you want it. So we have a ladder on this side, and maybe you gain access to that quite often, so you can store it to this side, and that's easy to do. You just tilt this up, and once that pin is in place, just simply drop that down, and we'll do the same for the other. And you'll see once folded up, the footprint is not very large, which is nice. And all of the cable management is holding this up, but that tow bag that I mentioned, tow bar cover, is a great option to just slide that over, keep it protected, and keep all of your components together. Something else that's really nice about this tow bar is the long arms. They extend pretty far, and that's going to make it really easy for tighter turns. It gives you a longer radius. It makes it a little bit easier for the vehicle tracking. And going along with that, there's 2 holes in the shank, and that's going to allow you to either draw it in a little bit further or a little bit further back. So there's a lot of adjustability. There's lots of nice things on this tow bar that really is going to be a great setup for your flat tow. And that was a look at the Demco Dominator Tow Bar with Blue Ox ends.